four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty, the golden voice of Neal Ruhl, and the iconic Terry Foster. Sit back and relax. It's time for your daily dose of Big D energy.
Hey, yo, welcome back, everybody. Big D Energy right here, Woodward Sports Network.
Big D!
I am Neal Ruhl.
Hi, Neal.
That is Darren McCarty. Hello, Darren.
Hi, Neal.
Terry Foster is in the chair. Hello, Terry.
Hello, and you're being bad.
Already.
Right? Is he not, Terry?
Sam,
He's being
I mean,
bad.
is he out? Like, the guy's
can I
down
get
and
through
we're
the
talking-
intros? Can I get through the intros
All right.
before we pile on me? Please.
All right, go ahead.
Can I finish setting this up? Can I do my job? Then you guys do your job.
Okay, Skip.
Sam Flannel is here as well. Spencer Raxter.
Hello.
Mixing and scratching. Happy to have you all with us. Jump into the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. We do this every day, 11 to 1. Now knock yourselves out. Go ahead.
Why you so bad?
Warm boy right now, isn't he?
He's piling on our friends, Nedeljkovic.
Stop.
Okay, let me frame this to last night is why did you come out and just say, can we just stop with Nedeljkovic getting an assist in the minors last night? What's the big deal? Did I just say, well, why can't you let people have maybe a little bit of, you call it unhealthy relationship with Nedeljkovic? How's he not hurting your team? We got to worry about Toronto coming in and putting 7 on us in Little Caesars tonight, okay? And he has not a part of it. So,
And look,
you're being unfair, Neal.
No, I'm not. You see, you guys are you're misrepresenting this, okay?
No, we're not.
Tammy Chin, the resident hockey, the resident hockey expert
And a
of
fine
our
woman.
show, and a very fine woman as well. Works for the public schools. Love what she does. She tweeted at me yesterday and sent me the tweet that Nedeljkovic got an assist. I see her in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Detroit Dabber 313, a valued member of the Big D Energy community, one of the pillars of the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Customary what up, doe, followed up right away. Ned got an assist last night in Grand Rapids. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't really mean much.
It doesn't help.
What does it hurt?
But it doesn't help.
What do you mean help what? What are you looking to help? People being happy that they're trying to say, okay, now he's looking positive signs for a guy.
And I understand that people
can cheer
support him.
for athletes, Neal.
They can cheer for whoever they want.
And here's where you don't, to me, have a place to stand on is because he's not even in your lineup. We're talking about your
And
minor
Neal,
league
there's a
team,
song for you.
and you're gonna hammer people down. No, I agree with Dabber and Tammy and stuff like this. All I see throughout the WoodwardSports.com chat is tone.
Yeah,
not
I
tone,
said the man got
but
an
no,
assist.
because isn't that what we want out of our? We've agreed he hasn't done his job. That's why he's in the minors. So why can't we be happy when he gets first star and then he gets an assist for people that have supported him? That's all.
Because you're trying to get him back here so he'll be a productive goalie.
And I understand that.
No, you
I
don't.
get all of that, Terry. But it doesn't. And D-Mac, you and I we're the same with this. Now, my tone is different. My route that I took to get there was different. But we ended up at the restaurant together. We are sitting down and breaking bread together.
We obviously
How is
are.
that going to help keeping 7 out of the net tonight?
He's not in there.
Right.
Right? He's working on his
Well, that
game in the
helps. That
minors.
helps keep 7 out of the net right there. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You know what? There's a song about you, Neal. Every party has a pooper. That's why we invited you. Party pooper.
Okay.
Bzz, bzz.
Real cream of wheat says Neal, very fine young man. So no, I'm not the player hater of the year. Stop with the Silky Johnson reset.
No, I mean, I know
Silky Neal Johnson right there.
I'm going to say something, and people are going to say you're full of it. But Neal is a fine young man.
And look, Stephen Baffy says this in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Here's the difference, because I got this from a couple people last night. Stephen Baffy. Ned has a great redemption story just waiting to happen. You cannot root for Goff, then crap on Ned. It makes no sense. Here's the difference, Stephen. Jared Goff statistically just had one of, if not the greatest seasons in the history of Detroit Lions quarterbacks.
And he's the starting quarterback for the Detroit Lions.
And they won games. And he was the reason they won a lot of games, not the reason they lost a lot of games. That's the difference. It's a redemption story waiting to happen, but it shows no signs of happening. So that's
it
it.
shows
I root for the guy.
You're going from the past, right? And
I'm going by what I've seen.
Proven. What they're saying is that it could be a redemption. This could be Goff before he got here, where you have to believe in him or whatever. The bottom line, Alex Nedeljkovic finds his way back to his NHL form, he's more valuable whether he's in net or if he's a trade option or whatever else wants to do with it. The fact that he's getting first stars and had an assist, which is, a bonus, but the fact that he's finding his confidence is a great sign for the organization. So that's how he's helping, doing everything he can to get
And
back
I don't
here.
dispute that. And I'm not hating.
But you know what? Neal is still sour because of Nedeljkovic giving up those 20-mile-an-hour wrist shots.
You know what, Terry?
In the
is
past.
Is that fair, though? Is that fair?
It's fair.
That he did give up. You're talking about now. It's like I get what Stephen Baffy's saying is that now we're talking about all the things Goff did on his way to lose the Super Bowl with LA, right? All the stuff that Nedeljkovic has done in a Wings uniform before getting sent down is irrelevant because he's not your part of your goaltender. It's when if there's a redemption project. So the bottom line, Tammy Dabber, tweet Darren McCarty 4. I will accept your tweets. Don't tweet Neal any good things happening in the minors for our guys.
Yeah. Tammy Chin says, Neal, maybe Ned can find his way back. Maybe he doesn't. And that's fair. Just like it's fair what I say. Lane Hartman, both things can be true, says, we took a shot on Ned for a third-round pick, right? Low risk, high reward situation. Hasn't really panned out. Unlike the similar risk we took on Husso, would love it if it works out, but it's fine. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. However, it's different in that the contract runs out this year.
Well, he's Chark. Right. Well, so what? Is it, you got to hold Steve Eisman that he if it does not work out at the end of the day, he traded a third-round pick that he probably picked,
We took a spin, yeah.
that
he's
that I
Trinity
know
Benson.
he picked up in his. What do you call that salary cap when he gets all the picks from the money?
Weaponize the cap.
Weaponizing.
Weaponize
He
the cap
weaponizes
space.
his salary
He's
cap.
Trinity Benson. That's what
It's allowed, right?
Sure, absolutely. And because I defend that, right? He took a spin, man. Low risk, and Lane, I agree with you,
the spin ain't
1,000%.
over. You're acting like that's the thing. You got him out the pasture
D-Mac,
like old Yeller. He's got
I know
ratings right now.
the spin
He
ain't
got
over.
ratings.
There's 90 days left. There's
Okay.
90 days left.
Okay,
It's
but
just
when's
about
the trade
over.
deadline? That's your key. He's got
What's
to
that?
be
3
right.
weeks, right?
What?
3 weeks, right?
Is that,
No, that's the All-Star break.
Yeah, All-Star breaks February
Or
4th.
4th.
So, but it's coming up. So that's where you want him to continue because it's only that's the best thing that he can do for this organization is get himself right and get himself in the score sheet and have those guys winning the minors.
And see, Dabber, like this, you got this wrong. So nobody's arguing he shouldn't have been sent down, not being happy for him doing well in Grand Rapids. It's just being petty. I'm not being petty. It's just that doesn't help keeping. See, I'm keeping my eye on the prize here, man. You got to beat Toronto at some point. Like, let's beat them
There's
once.
two different conversations.
Right.
Nedeljkovic has nothing to do with beating Toronto tonight.
Exactly.
Also,
That's
like,
my point.
Him being good, in the minors.
But that's why it happened yesterday, and Tammy was giving you updates on things that happened. Not on like tonight's a huge game. What have I always said? Again, is that when your rivalry with Toronto is like your rivalry back in the day was with Colorado, where it's that win-lose, because right now they have your number, and they're the ones you have to go through in your division. So.
Now, Jake Wagoner says, and this, did you guys put him up to this? Neal being petty, Dabber? Never. I'm not petty. I'm focused on the prize.
We're too professional to put people up to shenanigans.
Are you?
Yes, we are.
What were you going to say, Spenny? I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, I understand being happy that he's doing well in the minors, but him getting an assist is not what I base off of doing well.
Right.
Him getting star of the game, that's
Thank
doing
you,
well. Him
Spenny.
stopping shots, that's doing well. Him getting assists doesn't matter to me.
And that's where I was.
Well, the
with
only
it.
good thing with him getting an assist is you hope that it's a victory. The victory is number one. How is he playing and stuff like that?
Yeah.
It's a nice, good.
And you're exactly right, Spenny, with what you say. You're exactly right, and that's where I am with it too. Like it doesn't really do anything for me either. Do something for me beating Toronto for once, for Christ's sake.
Hey, here's a great. Hey, but doesn't it show you Ned's down there fighting? As Tammy says, doesn't that make you feel good? Just hasn't mailed it in for.
Oh yeah,
if
he doesn't have a choice too. He likes that. He likes the NHL lifestyle.
I'm
Like
just
when I
saying.
get called up to do NBA games, I like that a lot. I want to get back there. I'll do
I
whatever
guess,
it takes to
I
get
guess
back there.
maybe when you correlate it to basketball, when I listen to you guys, if a guy's lost his shot or lost his hops or jumper where guys got too old. With Nedeljkovic, he's not. So I'm confident that sometimes things like this happen, but he can go down and find himself. So just small little positive signs for the person.
And by the way, too, Tammy, like I appreciate you tagging me in that too, Tammy. Thank you for that, because it does. I did see it, and these guys are kind of blowing this out of proportion here. All right,
Never.
I was.
Do we? We don't do that, T. Do we?
Never.
So I exactly had Spenny's take. That was exactly my take. That's the point of the story.
Yeah.
It doesn't really help things. If you're happy for him, that's fine. I'm not here to tell you what you can and cannot do unless you want to watch Thursday Night Football, Falcons versus Panthers. Then I am going to tell you what to do and tell you not to watch it. That's fair.
It's fair, but why you have to be a blowhard? People are just happy you got a little assist.
And I said that's fine. You can root for whoever you want to root for. That's fine. I'm not here to tell you what to do
Yes,
unless
you are.
what you want to do is watch Thursday Night Football, Panthers v. Falcons. Then I am going to tell you what to do.
That tone is back again. I don't know what to say.
All right,
We
wait.
try to help
By the
them,
way,
but
tonight's
we can't.
game's on ESPN, another national game for these Red Wings. We're looking to play well in the national game, and this is going to be tough. Toronto they played last night and won against Nashville. So when you're sitting at home waiting for a team, these are the ones you have to win. The one thing that I saw through the lovely Carly Johnson, who reports for the Wings, is that Derek Lalonde thought the guys were tired and gassed a little bit. So you look at tweeting out using all these new innovations and stuff like this that they have around to give the guys a little bit of break. So you would expect, we'll see, but those should be ready to win tonight. And when it's like it happens in basketball and any sports, when you're sitting at home waiting for a team, you have to win these games. Have to. Bottom line. Because no one cares that the other team played on a back-to-back and you were sitting here.
This is professional sports, man.
Yeah, it is.
No one cares.
It is. So
no one cares. And Tammy, I do appreciate you, but you know that, Tam. You know how I feel about you. You're a valued member of the show, of the community, if you were.
I guess she was until she mentioned the assist.
No, Terry. See, this Tammy, you got that right. You guys heard that. That's him. That's Tone. It was that Tone.
Terry Tone?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't hear. I want to hear yours.
Of course.
Smooth vibes. Terry, must be through the
Every
hat.
one of you in here can piss off. Every single one of you. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Casey says, maybe Neal can be sent down and do a conditioning stint on a shit podcast like the heavyweights. Come on. Come on.
Who said that? You're getting blocked.
Oh, hell no.
Guys taking shots at Easy, that's brutal.
Yeah, embarrass Elise on national TV. I would love to see it. Real quick question for you guys, and I'm going to sneak this in before the break. I'm going to spend a ton of time on this. You guys, veterans, you're married, stuff like that. I do have a marriage question. Sam Flannel, you can get in on this too. Which one of these two people are you guys in the marriage? The person that will not eat the food 30 seconds past the expiration date, or think that the dates are a lie?
It's a suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't call them a lie, but it's like ballpark.
Ballpark.
You still go
Except
with
for
it.
milk.
Yeah, milk. Yeah, you don't mess with
Milk. Like that day.
My wife will
that
not.
day I will not.
My wife will not drink it when the clock hits midnight on the expiration
No,
date.
I'm only milk. Anything else, I mean, I didn't even know there was expiration dates on some of the things.
Okay, you eat Pop-Tarts. You're the wrong person to ask.
Absolutely.
That Pop-Tart was constructed in 1988. But so all right, so it's more of a male thing than I'm taking it. I'm guessing.
At least these males.
Okay, so that's what it is. I was just curious about that because my wife and I get in battle because she will, like, the day that something is listed as
I know.
expired.
It's still good for you.
Right.
Still works.
A dirty burrito. This is what I tell my wife. Dates are a suggestion. It must pass the smell test.
That's
Well,
right.
also too, Neil, is you must go to the second fridge more than once a month because things do run out in that second fridge. So you have to throw it out.
And Tammy Chin says, I agree with Mrs. Ruhl. And Walter Briggs says, smell and the eye test.
And yeah, if it's not clumpy, you can eat it. If it's clumpy, you leave it alone.
And it depends on the circumstances even then.
Yes.
Absolutely. So
Or
you listen to Sam
circumstances.
Flannel?
Or if there's green on it. If you see
Mindset.
green.
Yeah.
Time.
Where is that in the Flannel household?
Foods have expiration dates.
Yeah. There you go.
He eats whatever he's told.
Yeah. So I wanted to run that out there. You know?
Expired.
ACAV says.
And Joni's here.
Yeah. ACAV says that's first world privilege. You guys know I freely admit that. I have a very easy life, and I'm cognizant of it, and I'm grateful for it. So that goes without saying. Derek R., I want Spencer's opinion.
What? Expired?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's clumpy or... I do the smell test on the milk, like a couple days after the expiration date, give it a sniff. If it smells a little sour, I'm dumping it. But... yeah,
Have you ever, like, saw the bread was starting to turn, but you needed that sandwich, so you took the half out and you went to the other end where it was clean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all
For
about
sure.
that.
I know that's what you call bread surgery.
Yeah.
Bread surgery? Nice.
You take the knife and cut out the green.
Little bread surgery.
Bread surgery. So you'll still do that, right?
I'll still do it.
You'll still eat it?
To me, the green is like the cancer. So you're just doing surgery, getting rid of it, and the rest
Removing
of it
the
looks
tumor.
good. Bam,
It's
you go
not
with
the
it.
tumor.
How long, like, say spaghetti in the fridge, how many days?
How many months?
Yeah.
Okay.
A couple weeks.
A couple weeks, you'll still get down?
Oh, yeah.
And it there's extenuating circumstances.
For
what
sure.
what time of the evening is it?
Until it gets, like, slimy.
There it is.
What has been consumed prior to
Yeah,
that?
you know what
Like
I'm saying?
ham, like when ham gets slimy...
That's when we'll move
That's
on?
when you throw it out.
Yeah.
That's a privileged existence.
That is privileged existence. But
Now, when it's slimy, that means there's some type of fungus or something in it. So you don't mess with the slimy stuff.
Here on Mark M, 10 days minimum on spaghetti.
Dabber wanted you to know, Terry, mold spores spread throughout the bag. It's not localized to where you see it.
All right. Now, speaking of that, I get this weird milk now that you'll buy the milk in June, and it's good until, like, December.
what kind of milk is that?
I have no idea what it is, but it's in the
Powdered milk?
Huh?
What's that?
Oh, is
powdered
that
milk?
that's like because that's the kind of milk. Get ready, guys. We get that like that almond milk, like pure milk stuff, A2 milk, all that kind of
this
stuff.
is like milk out of the cow.
Yeah.
Milk.
Yeah,
Out of the cow,
that's what we
bottle it
get
up
too.
6 months later?
Because it doesn't have all those additives in it and stuff like that. It lasts longer.
From my experience, that's called the curing part.
Yes.
Of it,
Yeah,
right?
the curing part of it, right.
The cure is the most part. But let me tell you about Alta. Because that Alta uptime, it matters. Alta equipment has everything you need to get the job done right. You have a bog project coming up? Well, Alta Rent, we know they have you covered. Give them a call today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
As chilly weather approaches, Big Boy's got the perfect comfort meals for you. Try our hearty classic meatloaf or our creamy Cajun chicken Alfredo. These will be sure to leave you craving for more. How about breakfast? Our stuffed potato pancakes are back with our lumberjack, blockbuster, and Santa Fe Garden. These potato pancakes will definitely fill you up. Whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, come stock up on the perfect comfort meal today. We'll see you soon at Big Boy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I've lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
The Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling pig game called Foaling. Multiple different ways you can play. They've got $12 open unlimited play and private lane reservation for $120. If you get thirsty, they got a $2 mystery beer vending machine and multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose from. So make sure you go check them out in Hamtramck or visit them online at foalingwarehouse.com.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. We are off and running. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rackstad here with you. Lots of talk about milk in the woodwardsports.com chat thread. I invite you to jump into there, get your thoughts out there. We'll read them. I'll let you guys program the show from time to time. A, because you guys are pretty knowledgeable in your own right. B, I get lazy sometimes. And C, you guys know what you want to talk about.
I helped Birmingham roast out with their oat milk. I did an oat milk tasting. They both taste like cardboard. Like it was gross. I'm just a regular milk guy. Give me some 2%.
You give off regular milk vibes.
Give me some 2%.
He gives off right off the teat, off the cow.
I wish I had a cow.
Speaking of that, stop sending the breast milk text and messages, not reading anything about breast milk. We're not going down that road. Save that for the heavyweights 5 to 7.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a shot. That's not disrespect. That's your lane.
That is our lane.
No, but
All
you
about the
can't.
breast milks.
You can't put breast milk in coffee.
Okay.
I need
No,
you to head
guys,
down.
I just said we're not doing it.
I need you to head down to the Bronx.
My bad.
And give
Whatever
me
you
breast
do,
milk
don't
with
say you put
Cambodian
mayo
vinegar.
in your coffee, because
No,
it ain't
you
about
can put
Lil
breast
Levis.
milk in coffee before mayo.
I only drink the finest breast
Fair
milk.
enough. Some tells me that you've tried one of those.
I
two.
literally just get done saying we're not talking about that. And you
started
guys
it.
spend the next minute talking about that. I literally just said that. Let me know when you're okay. You guys go ahead. We got this show lined up. Spenny busts his ass every night
Sorry,
to give us this
Dad.
show sheet. And you guys want to? No, go ahead. Start talking about breast milk. Go ahead, guys.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Come on. Go ahead.
I mean,
don't
you
wanna
can't
talk
really
about-
blame him. I mean, Chesty Malone probably had the biggest, most breast milk. Terry was sitting there for ages.
Oh yeah, man. You just she can do like a whole half
you go.
gallon in 10 minutes.
yeah. I drink the.
I
pint.
got a great segue.
Okay.
Right? You know who's probably on breast milk right now? Aaron Rodgers.
Well, of course. Well, he's probably like.
Probably his home.
Yeah, he probably drinks his own breast
Yeah.
milk. Yeah. No, you know what though? I did want to get into this, and I'll save the Lions. Like they're probably going to be the favorites, betting favorites in the division next year. I'm getting that vibe, and I'm going to get to that. But I'm popping this one on there. Nicole Menor of Fox 11 News in Green Bay witnessed some members of Detroit's coaching staff and Packers coaching staff getting in the mix as they were getting into the elevators after the game at Lambeau Field. Her tweet said, Lions coaching staff just got into the elevators and someone screamed, "You can't be losing to that team 3 times." That was Lions coaching staff yelling at the Packers coaching staff. Someone from the Packers elevator responded, "That's real classy." And the Lions coach in the elevator said, "Your quarterback said that."
Got him.
I love it. And this, D-Mac, what do I always say about, and I look, I wasn't saying this when they were 1-6, obviously, but what do I always say to me was the moment that this franchise turned around? What was the moment? In the beginning of the year, last year, Penei Sewell's rookie year,
Oh, absolutely.
when he got up in Joey Bosa's face and said, "You know what?
Aaron Donald.
I ain't your guy, pal." When
all
he got
the
in Aaron
different guys.
Donald's face and said, "I'm not your pal, friend." Like that's
I'm not your buddy, buddy.
I'm not your buddy,
I'm not your
guy.
pal, guy.
But
Not your guy, friend.
Look, people say like that's chirping and that's not necessary and stuff like that. D-Mac, you tell me.
Well-
is it necessary sometimes?
Oh, absolutely. Especially in your division against a team that you're going to play twice a year, especially when you've been on the bottom of the shoe. That's where it starts. But what you should take from this is, if you've ever wondered, hey, does that bulletin board material they talk about in locker rooms, like if somebody says a quote, do they really put it up? Or do they really talk about it? Well, I think that you got 100%.
Oh, yeah,
And
it's a
I'll
real
say
thing.
100%. Yes, it happens. You're always looking for something. But this right here, that was a point of emphasis. The coaches just told you in the elevator, what was the point of emphasis in Allen Park for the week of Green Bay, is that this guy right here, is probably a cheesy looking face of Aaron Rodgers, and saying is that we don't lose to this team. That's what it is, because the coaches just told you that. And they're former players too, so they take it personally. And when you take it personally like that on the field, right? This is off the field. Coaches can't really do much except prepare your team. That goes to show you on the field. This team fights. This team knows that. And after the game right there, as a former player, assistant coach, standing in there is the pride that you have, because you know it's changed. Everything we've talked about, that
Here's
just
what people
solidifies
must
me.
understand, especially assistant coaches in the NFL or college too. They're up in a hot ass booth for 3 hours, screaming at each other, screaming out plays, jumping up and down. So they are revved up. When they walk out of that booth and get on the elevator, they're like raging bulls. So they finally got a little fresh air, and they still are pent up in that moment. So, if you normally they don't put the coaches on the same elevators.
Well, they were next to each other. You know how they hold the elevators for the staff? The elevators were next to each other, and the staff was holding them open when the coaches were coming back. And then their paths kind of crossed, and people started chirping.
I would say it's about...
You read into dissension at all with the pack, right? When we're saying that, because instead of coming back and saying responses, F you, you know what I mean? Yeah, you guys suck, and you know what? We're not supposed to lose to you. That's how bad we
response,
are.
too.
But
Real
you
classy.
go to the dissension in that locker room as far as the split to Rodgers, right? Because sometimes, Rodgers is out here spouting off and stuff like this, and the rest of them are going, the response there just lets me know that the Packers organization is like, yeah, we know, in the back of our minds.
What'd you have, Spenny?
I was just going to say it's probably like minus 12,000 odds that Deuce Staley was the one doing that.
Minus 12,000.
It was probably Deuce.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Stephen Baffy says, booyah, Rodgers. Detroit Debber says, game, blouses. Epic talks about Joe Rogan and chimp breast milk. We're not doing that one, Epic. I told you, we're not doing that one. Everyone's saying, yeah, it was Deuce. But, it's one of those things for me, though, Terry, where, that's a very douchey response. Yeah, real classy. It almost sounds like something a Michigan fan would say, to another fan. But anyway, I digress.
Does it mean anything to you, too, the fact that it is Deuce Staley? Deuce Staley's not just your running back coach. He's your assistant coach or assistant to the head coach, which means that's a little bit more power up the chain, too. So this is for real. This ain't just somebody doing. This is how I believe that they all feel as part of the Lions in Allen Park.
It's a crazy coaching staff.
It is, but I think that reflects that team too. Mm-hmm. Like Penei Sewell's, he's not here. He's not here on some bullshit, man. Like,
no, you talking about my man swinging balls? That's what I'm calling him.
Yeah,
because he just rolls down the field with his ball swinging and just knocks the hell out of people.
Yeah, so
that's that attitude.
Yeah, like it just for me, that was the turnkey to it all. And maybe it's my Sewell simpness coming through, which I freely admit. But I just think that this dude changed the tone of a franchise, an offensive lineman. I honestly believe that, D-Mac. Honestly,
I believe
that.
It has to start somewhere, and you gotta look at a point of emphasis. And when he's come on and how he's played and continued to play, and how many times do we sit up here on a Monday or after a game day and go, "Did you see how far downfield he had the guy blocked?" Or different lanes. So he's the real deal. Obviously, the right choice for this organization. But there's your if Deuce Staley is your the Dan Campbell, and you can see through, like Terry said, they got a bunch of attitudes in the coaching staff. Well, they got some attitude on the field too, and it starts with Penei Sewell because the guys feed off it.
Is there something?
I think it goes deeper than that. I think go back to Billie Jean, the way those players reacted to a rookie, Aiden Hutchinson, doing Billie Jean. That told me something magic is going on. That they believe in this dude. That they're behind him. He's a freaking rookie. He doesn't have to carry people's shoulder pads at that time or buy donuts or something. They were all behind him.
For me, though, it goes back to, when was the last time this team was good? The 2014-ish, right? The 2014?
Yeah, I suppose.
And who was a central cog in all that? Remember, they had a historically great defense. Who did that revolve around?
Ndamukong Suh.
And was Ndamukong Suh? What did you trifle with him?
He was an ass.
No, you didn't mess with him.
Yeah.
But Ndamukong Suh,
but you loved it,
didn't have the locker room because he didn't do stuff with players. He was too good for everybody.
Right.
So,
but I'm saying along the same lines of on the field stuff, where you roll in and you say, "Hey, I don't care what happened before. Not today."
But
you can't be nice and play in the trenches.
Sue was more personal, selfish to whatever else. Penei Sewell it's all
Fair.
about team.
Right. I'm talking about like the on the field, the attitude that they played.
So it only works is if it doesn't work when you're. And we saw Sewell, whether it was warranted or not, on some of the personal penalties he took. It was more of he was on a mission, didn't care about the rest of the team. Sewell is different. He's all about team, and that's when it works. The other way it doesn't work. You're just a detriment to your team. We've seen it all over the NFL. by guys taking stupid penalties and being about themselves. So in this case, that's not it. And so Penei Sewell, yes, I agree with you. His attitude is sort of leaked through the whole team on the field.
But I freely admit that I'm a simp. Anyway, sports marketing agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. They have a new podcast out called This is the S Word. Helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you're struggling, go to thesportsma.com. If someone you know is struggling, thesportsma.com, the sports marketing agency, they're here to help.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Neal Ruhl here for Bedrock Detroit. Downtown Detroit's all decked out this winter season with the return of the Cadillac Lodge and the Monroe Street Midway. The Midway has a giant slide, winter bumper cars, an indoor arcade. Plus, you can get drinks at the Lodge before Red Wings games, after Pistons games, however you want to do it. It's a place you can go outside in the wintertime. And look, no, low key, we're stealing money with this weather so far. You know, granted, we don't see the sun for a month at a time, but it's warm. Get out there and do some stuff. Get downtown, Monroe Street Midway. It's like a real city, so let's support it. Let's get down there. You can shop, eat, and play downtown all winter long. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com for all the deets, as the kids say. Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rockstar here in the building. All of you as well in the woodwardsports.com chat thread as well. Woodward Sports flash poll. Which Lions coach do you think did the chirping? Deuce Staley got 86% of the vote. I think Hank Fraley at 550 plus 550 would be a low-key good bet.
It's pretty good odds, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, Hank Fraley doesn't get his run that he deserves either.
No, for sure.
He gets his run from me.
Because you are putting it together, man. Like, you put all these guys together, like these are dudes like in a room.
I saw Walter Briggs say he's going to go back and watch Hard Knocks. I'm going to go back and watch it again because I think, like Terry said it, what we saw now explains things of why they worked out, to the Billie Jean dance that Aiden Hutchinson did in front of the room, to that camaraderie. It's just we didn't see it out of the gate. But it explains more to it now. So I think, you know, I'm going to be one of them that goes back and watches through it and sort of it's like the prequel. You get to watch it all over again with knowing how it ended.
Hunter Critz on the woodwardsports.com chat thread. Will any of you be at the Red Wings game this Saturday? You'll be down there, D-Mac, Saturday?
No.
No, you're not? All right.
I'll be down there tonight. Come check me out.
You know what we need to do? Me and you. Oilers, February 7th.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Me and you.
That is I
think it's a Tuesday.
I think we can do that.
You and I roll out there.
Want to go up and lord over everybody?
Yeah, we need to do it.
Hey, where we can see Stevie right next to us, wave to him. He won't wave back. He'll wave to you.
He'll wave to me.
He won't wave to me.
He'll call me. He'll summon me too.
So you want me to go watch the game by myself so you can go watch it with Stevie? I get it. All right, we'll do that for the Edmonton game.
Stevie's not a waver. He's not a waver. He's not a brother man hugger. He's Steve Eiserman. So you're not going to get that waiver.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah,
D-Mac and I can go down there. And
we'll be down there February 7th.
Yeah.
Let me see if I'm working that game.
Yeah,
you might get a head nod, but that's it. You'd be lucky if you get that from
Damn,
Steve.
I don't even get a head nod.
I said, you
We'll
might
see.
get one. I said, but you'll be lucky if you get that.
And I won't even charge the Ilitch organization for a consulting fee for that. It'll be a freebie. Stevie and I, they'll have to put the TNT cameras on us. We're talking draft and weaponizing salary capital and all that kind of stuff. So, that's how it'll be. T-Foss, I got a question for you. Detroit Lions 5-1 in the NFC North. We just got done talking the stories. The coaches are on one against the Packer coaches. They went into Lambeau and won. And just the way they won, too. Because they imposed their will on the Packers in the second half of that. They did. I believe that 1,000%. In their mind, they were never not winning that football game. They're going to get all the run at the beginning of the year next year. I would contend they're going to be the betting favorites to win that division. Are they the kings of the North, Terry? Have you seen enough?
They are the kings of the North. Now, here's the key thing. How do they handle that? I mean, they've been hunting everything. We don't have respect. You don't think we can play. Don't play us. Now, how do you handle, y'all coming after us? So it's a different mindset. And they'll probably lose Ben Johnson as their offensive coordinator. So there's still things to be had. And every year is different. Every year you have to prove yourself. Now the Lions have to prove, can we handle being the hunted?
D-Mac, you're intimately familiar with this.
Yeah,
trying to fight your way through
it's
it.
the expectations and team. And is that not, Terry, bring up the elephant in the room, Ben Johnson, who's been requested to be interviewed by the 4 teams that have coaching vacancies. So whether you expect it or not, I mean, obviously the first thing is you'd like to see them run it back with the same offensive coordinator, same thing that we saw this year. But to Terry's point, things always change. So it's got to be that next up mentality. The thing that I love is they're all in this together. I was talking to Maddie Miller, right? Our reporter for WoodwardSports.com that's been down there, and I just asked her. I said, does it feel real? Because to me, it feels like there's an offense, a defense, and a special teams. And a lot of times we hear that there's not really that interaction. But in this Detroit Lions team, it always felt like there's also this whole team together. Everybody's in. And she says, absolutely. You can feel it down there. So in saying that, everything Terry says is right, but I still think that they have this hunter's mentality because they haven't won anything yet, and they haven't got to the playoffs, and until they do make the playoffs and win a game. So just you want to know what the clock has proven in 2 years is that I will not just be satisfied with making the playoffs next year. That win that we haven't had in 30 years has to be next year.
Now and then I feel that I always have to lecture our young people out there who've never seen stuff like this. The Lions have made the playoffs before.
Recently.
Yeah, recently.
Well, semi-recently.
The thing is they just lose all of them, except in 1992. So they should remain hungry because, in my mind, they haven't done anything. Yes, they won 8 out of 10 games, but guess what? They've done that before. They stormed into a position to make the playoffs, but they've done that before. Now, to me, what you have to do is validate. Next season is about validation. If you make the playoffs, if you win a division, if you're making noise, if they're talking about you on ESPN or the NFL Network, that's the validation that they need. Years ago, the Lions, once again for our young people, the Lions used to make the playoffs every other year. But what they would do, they'd win 10 or 11 games and then stink the next year and win 5 games when you thought they were going to do something. So now, validation should keep their hunger going. That's what next season's about. It's all about validation. If they poop the deck and win 6 games, then it's same old Lions.
And obviously that depends on the circumstances too. Injury. Like if Goff gets injured week 2, then that changes a lot of stuff, right? But if everybody's the same, all things being the same, especially as this team got healthy, second half of the year they were very healthy, like abnormally healthy.
Right, but they should go into this offseason and see that they did it to themselves, because they have that ability to be that good. No matter what happens, it's preparing that. But they haven't won anything yet. You brought up stats yesterday that Goff's franchise record in doing this in offensive stats, and still you don't make the playoffs. To me, that's an issue, because what happened at the beginning of the year can't happen again, and you still have those deficiencies on defense. So the interesting part, enjoy the journey and watch not only the guys that are re-signed, the guys who you're going to hear about them maybe making a play at in free agency, and then eventually what they're going to do in the draft. So getting set up, we got to, this is the exciting time, because the bottom line is there's a football team in Allen Park. And it's worth cheering for and getting behind. So there's a lot of things, a lot of questions up in the air. I think the biggest one is what happens with Ben Johnson. But regardless, they're going to move on.
Which I'm going to talk about in the next segment. But until then, because if you look at this division, and Pistons fan 11 says Packers going to fall off, I agree. We've seen that. The Packers have begun their descent. They are asking the tower for clearance to land. It's over for them. The Lions ended that on Sunday night, because I believe that they're going to continue to spiral down, and that's and Aaron Rodgers is a big reason because of it, especially if he retires. That he'll destroy that franchise. But anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Pistons fan 11 also says the Bears are in full rebuild. I believe that the Bears are the ones that are kind of going under the radar with everybody, though. Like, they're just writing the Bears off, and you got to remember, they got a quarterback who you call him a running back, call him a running back. He's a dynamic player, Sam Flannel. Is that fair to say? He's a dynamic player.
Absolutely. I don't think that the Bears will be ready to compete next year. They have a bright future moving forward, but I think you're looking at a team that has so many holes, especially on defense.
Right, but they have double the amount of cap space as the second next team in the NFL.
Oh, and that's phenomenal. I expect them to take a leap. I expect them to win at least 6 or 7 games next year.
That's what I think people are sleeping on. Then they do have a lot of holes. Certainly.
Yes.
Like, Justin Fields needs some help, man. Needs some help.
Yeah.
They in a very Jacksonville Jaguars-esque fashion, they can go out and make it rain.
Hey, in the Jacksonville Jaguars, they went from worst to first. It can be done. I mean, the Bears are going to have the number 1 pick as well. I think that they're the sleeper to maybe be second in the NFC North. But I think moving forward, at least next year, the Lions absolutely have to be the favorites. I mean, you look at how well they've drafted in the last couple of years. I expect at least 2 or 3 of those rookies from this year to kind of take a Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown kind of leap into stardom. And from there, another draft class, I think the Lions are set up for success. You don't want what, like Terry said, kind of like that backslide. They absolutely have to validate, because even though they had a 9-8 record, they still didn't make the playoffs, they still didn't win the division, they haven't really done anything yet, and that should keep them kind of hungry to improve.
And if you want to take the cynic side of it, again, kind of like what we talked about the other day, you had everything go right after that 1-6. Quarterback had the best season ever. They were healthy the second half of the year.
Defense turned around.
Defense went from possibly one of the worst ever to being
forcing turnovers.
You had a rookie, pick Aaron Rodgers off 3 times. I mean, like, it's the things that went right were baffling, and that's a big parlay to repeat. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot to ask.
I did a lot of the pregame shows for the Lions here at the studio, and every time they would show the Lions injury report at the end of the year, I was thinking, man, this isn't even that bad. Who's the worst player out? Like Austin Bryant? They were ridiculously healthy, and it showed. It showed how well they played in the end of the year, but that doesn't happen very often. The Lions did have a lot of injury luck, and despite all that, they didn't make the playoffs. But next year, I think it's NFC North title or bust. I really do.
Yeah. Sometimes it's your year. I mean, you can't explain it. Sometimes you get lucky. It's like, it kills me when people say, when there's a lot of injuries, well, maybe they should fire the athletic trainer. He has nothing to do with if you're going to be injured or not. It just happens.
Right.
And the sun shined on the Lions for a change.
And one thing that we did go over here is you have to take into account the schedule's tougher. Especially the road schedule. It's a bit of a beast.
But the home schedule's,
home schedule's
a little
doable.
soft.
This is doable, but we know pretty much the team that we have. We have a 30-point plus scoring team on home turf. So the schedule. But again, when you're hunting And you want that smoke of proving that it could be a blessing in disguise. So, to me, the balance is, remember in Hard Knocks, Dan Campbell says, trust me, boys, this is for later in the stretch. I know we got to do this work here and all this stuff. Well, now he's going to have to find the balance, right? Because what did it do? We were questioning early if the injuries were a part of practicing too hard, training camp, or doing it that way. But we saw that in the long run, it made them healthier towards the end of the season to be able to play. So that's what they're going to try to figure out, obviously, this offseason, this balance. So I expect something to hear training-wise that it might be done, just a little bit of a tweak to it so that they can be healthy all year.
If you're hunting for a haircut, what should you do?
Absolutely. Right now, absolutely, with the Mega Millions, all this, people giving away money, you better come to Lady J's, not just for an award-winning haircut experience, but to register for once-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home. How does $200,000? Yes, $200K sounds. Only at Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Matrix Home Solutions is your go-to for any home project. Looking for a new man cave? They are the basement remodel experts. They also specialize in bathrooms and kitchens. An A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau. Call 888-594-8844 or go to matrixhomesolutions.com.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, Darren McCarty here in the house, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter as well. And
I did a little research for you fellas.
You did?
Yes, and it pertains to the injuries. We had talked earlier about the Wednesday injury report, why it was so long, and I said, I think there's something going on there with Dan Campbell. Well, I did a little research, and what I was told was that Dan Campbell, he would go to certain players and say, man, you busted your ass off Sunday. Let's take Wednesday off. We'll put you on the injury report. You good. You may have like a nicked up finger or something minor, but just take the day off and we'll put you on the injury report. And that may explain why the injuries were so small, because your body needs rest in the NFL. Because basically you're in a car crash like 20, 30 times a game. So that was a Dan Campbell thing where he's trying to preserve bodies. He's trying to get people through the season. So that might be another underrated or unknown thing about him that makes him a good coach. And once again, a guy who played in the league. He understands what the body goes through during the week. And, just having Tuesday off is not enough.
What do you got, Spenmo?
Just a little bit of breaking news. It's the Bears are expected to name Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren as their new president and CEO.
Okay.
So, wow. Dude stole UCLA and USC and then dipped for the NFL.
You can say what you want about Kevin Warren. He gets how to drive revenue.
Yep, that's for sure.
He's a master at it.
He's a businessman.
He is a business. He's about business, man.
For sure.
So, Kevin Warren. New Big Ten Commissioner, Sam Flannel.
Hey, I mean, I don't know exactly what this will mean for the Big Ten moving forward, but like you said, Kevin Warren did drive revenue. I think overall he did a very fine job. It's a pretty. Yes, we'll see who they get next. Hopefully, the Big Ten train just keeps rolling forward for Michigan.
And he has NFL experience with the Minnesota Vikings. So he's dabbled in front office
it's
stuff.
not unheard of. Like, this isn't some reach that they were making. I did want to get into this. And people still sleeping on the Bears. The Bears will be in last place in the division next year.
All right, brother. I'm sleeping on the damn Bears.
Okay.
They're going to finish third at best.
That could be the case.
I wouldn't doubt that.
I wouldn't be worried about them next year. It's the year after, right? You know, what are they going to?
Well, it depends on what their philosophy is too, with all this ammo that they have. And I would expect them to be aggressive because there are a lot. I talk about the Lions with 120-ish million in cap space in 24 with their quarterback signed. There are a lot of teams that are in the triple digits in cap space. So, like, their dollar will go farther this offseason than it would the next offseason.
Because everybody else has more.
Because everybody else has money.
Yeah.
That's what the Pistons are going to run into. They have all this cap space. So do a lot of other teams. So that's going to be the issue. I would expect the Bears are going to get real aggressive this year. Real aggressive. Again, because they set the market. They have double the cap space that the Atlanta Falcons have, who are number 2 in NFL available cap space.
We were talking about landing spots for DeAndre Hopkins on heavyweights yesterday. I said the Bears.
100% I could see that.
Yeah.
100% I could see that. So they can take that contract on without blinking an eye.
It's only $8 million if you trade for him.
They could take that contract on without blinking an eye. See, everyone's, it's not out there in front of you right now, so not a lot of people see it. So, that's what it is. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Chief says we talk about numbers, Neal. Yes, we are. Ben Johnson, speaking of numbers, and I shudder like I hide when I say this. I think it's more possible that he leaves by the minute. And
absolutely.
Let me get a shield from the WoodwardSports.com chat thread because I saw everybody. They're prepared to riot over this. But you want numbers. And again, this doesn't dictate everything. This doesn't say everything. The betting favorite to be the next head coach of the Carolina Panthers is Ben Johnson.
No.
The betting favorite. That doesn't mean it's a done deal. That doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Break it down for us, Neal. Does that make sense for a Ben Johnson? I think at the end of the day, first of all, right, 32 coaches in the NFL, and forget argument's sake about, well, this guy's not leaving and this guy, whatever like that. I asked the question, has anybody ever asked Ben Johnson if he wants a coaching gig? And you said to me is that there's only so many of these, regardless of the job you do, you're getting the bag. So that's the end. That would seem, Terry, that's the progression, that everybody if they get into coaching wants to get up to the top, which is, you'd see that this kid. Now the question mark, does Carolina make the most sense, right, with what they have going with their owner, right, which is number one, right? We're talking about Chicago Bears and all the money. The House family, though, right? Maybe a little bit cheap, right? Maybe a little bit not spending the money, whereas opposed to the Carolina guy, he goes out and does what he wants, gets what he wants, trades, Christian McCaffrey, does whatever else. So does the fit work there for a Ben Johnson?
Yeah, because there's no, I call them like a noose contract. There's no noose contracts there. They don't have, the Russell Wilson contract at Carolina. Even the big deals they have, like Taylor Morton's their highest paid player, their right tackle. DJ Moore is their second highest paid player. They both got outs after next year where, your cap hit, it's not nothing, but it's minimal, and you have a lot of cap space. You could do it where you can make those go away. You have obviously a higher draft pick. I don't know that it's in the range where you can get the quarterback you want to get. But it's there. It's an option, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's one of those things for me where, and Zach Conley says, why won't Sheila pay him? And guys, it's not that. It's not getting paid. Look, I've talked about this. And D-Mac, I'm sure you have a personal story about it. Terry, I'm sure you have a personal story about it. For me, I want to be an announcer in the NBA. I don't care what job gets offered to me. I'm taking that job. I am.
Right.
That. And it's not, The money is
like
the
is
money.
it Minnesota that doesn't have a first rounder till 2029 or 30
Right.
or whatever
You
like that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm taking that job because that's who I want to be. I want to be at the highest level of what I do. That's what drives me. The money's nice. Like, that's great and everything. But I want to be at that highest level. I would assume you wanted to be at the highest level of what you did. Terry, you wanted to be at the highest level. You were at a top 10 newspaper in the country.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, and that meant something to you, I'm sure.
It did. And the other thing that people must understand, there is, when you're good, you're going to lose your assistant coaches. That's just the part of it. See,
Right.
the Lions fans are not used to assistant coaches leaving because nobody wanted them. So now
This is the place where coaches go to die.
they go to die.
They used to. That's how you know it's not the same, right?
And go to suck. But now Ben Johnson and who knows, it could happen with other coaches too, where their resume is built up here, and they're going to leave. You just can't pay somebody an offensive coordinator the same as you can a head coach. You're right, Neil. That's not an issue. Now, all of these coaches at some point play competitive sports. What I find with coaches is they're the most competitive people around. They want to achieve the most. They want their blueprint on something. They want to achieve at the highest level. And the thing that they always believe is, if this guy can't do it, I can do it.
100%.
And I'm going to show you, bam. I go to Carolina, I can go to Indianapolis. There's a bunch of jobs that's open. I'd be shocked if Ben Johnson is back next year.
Here's a couple things, right? Like with us playing Carolina and Ben Johnson, I know we played against him, but he got to see some of that offense of what he'd have to deal with. You have obviously who played against us, whether it be Sam Darnold moving forward or whoever it is, but you see the job he's done with Jared Goff. These are all good questions. The other question is, Terry, and I see it, getting guys poached off your staff, that only happens to good teams like San Francisco and across and Green Bay and the coaching trees to that. But here's the thing: has anybody thought too, or is anybody worried about what if Ben Johnson goes and gets hired? You not only lose him, but then what if he wants to take a Mark Brunell,
right,
or take somebody else? So, but again, these are the conversations that we're going to have to add to our repertoire in the off season if we expect this team to continue to get big. And what happens when they win the North? What happens when they win playoff games? You think a lot of these guys aren't going to get an opportunity, especially under the... Here's the one thing, Neal. In Dan Campbell's second year, are we going to have... Is he going to get referred to as having a Dan Campbell coaching tree?
That would be wild.
Hey, imagine that.
Dude,
less than a year
there's
after
a New England coaching tree. There's a 49ers coaching tree. There's not a Detroit Lions coaching tree.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Why.
But is there a seed going to be planted?
Yes.
Would that be wild if there was a Dan Campbell coaching tree when they were 1-6 3 months ago?
You know why there would be? Because Dan Campbell comes from the Sean Payton coaching tree,
right,
and Sean Payton comes from the Bill Parcells coaching tree. It's all different branches of the biggest tree there is.
See, now you're getting it. It all comes down to one of the original 7 coaches.
And if you drink Cintron, you're getting it because it's the official energy drink of the Red Wings. I hope they pound about 8 of these things before they play Toronto tonight. It's time to beat those dudes, and they can do it with Cintron. They've combined all 3 of their delicious flavors into their Red Wings themed 6-pack sampler box. You get it all. The great tasting Cranberry, classic, and sugar-free, all in one Red Wings themed package. And you can order your 6-pack Red Wings Cintron sampler box at CintronWorld.com/Red Wings. So you know what? Why wait? Get energized with Cintron, and let's go Red Wings. Tonight, beat Toronto. Christ's sake.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
What's
It's a winter wonderland if you can shop, eat, and play. Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Market, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Neal Ruhl here for Custom Health Centers. We get your customized approach to weight loss, like our own Ryan Ermanni. He's down over 15 pounds on his custom health journey. You see he's all ripped up. We're joking with that, but he is doing the job. As we said, down over 15 pounds. Custom Health Centers, over 20,000 success stories. They've helped professional athletes, Pro Bowl MVP Eddie Murray, Pistons NBA champion Rick Mahorn. They can help you too. Start losing weight today. Call Dr. Jason and Custom Health, 844-789-8446. That's 844-789-THIN. Neal Ruhl here for the Monroe Street Midway Minute. You know what's going on down there. We've talked about it a lot. The Winter Festival that's going on all winter long. All the attractions, you know what it is. All the food as well. Homemade chili, chicken sandwiches. You know pierogies. You know that Spenmo's back there smashing pierogies. He's going to be doing all that. You can get drinks in the lodge. You can go shopping. They have pop-up shops down there. It is an incredible atmosphere in downtown Detroit. Yes, in downtown Detroit, everybody. You can go hang out outside in the wintertime. It's Monroe Street Midway. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com for more information. Coming up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster here with you. Happy to have you along for the ride. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. We're talking about Ben Johnson. He's the betting favorite to be the next coach for the Carolina Panthers, and I see in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Rax says, I think this is part of the changing the SOL narrative, being able to sustain winning seasons, coaches getting poached, etc., etc. Pistons fan 11 says, when has anyone ever turned down a head coaching job as a first-time offer? It doesn't happen, and that's real. That is absolutely real. And I saw somebody earlier talking about Carolina, like looking at their books, and they say they're paying 3 quarterbacks this year. Yes, they are. There's one more year of financial pain for the Panthers next year. They have an $18 million cap hit on Christian McCaffrey for training him. Robbie Anderson has a $9.7 million hit, and then they're through it. So like our Trey Flowers and Jamie Collins will be their Christian McCaffrey and Robbie Anderson, and it's $27 million next year. But the year after, they're ready to rock. And I heard also somebody say they don't have a quarterback. I think that's part of the draw for Ben Johnson.
That's what I said. You look, I think he might have looked over or whatever. And what is Sam Darnold, the poor man's Goff? Not by the stats at the end of the season, but looking into it, is he some sort of, is it Johnson that's some sort of quarterback whisperer-ish, or is it more Brunel? That's the biggest thing. Is that, wouldn't you be worried? Because do you find, is it more the head coach and the offensive coordinator working lockstep, or the quarterback coach and the offensive coordinator working more lockstep, right?
Yeah.
So I would be more worried that it might be a 2-for-1 thing, which you're gonna, again, this is what real teams they come up against, and obviously have a contingency plan, and I'm sure this conversation has been had by the powers that be, right? Whether it's the Spielmans and the Brad Holmes and whatever it is. So these are all the difficult questions. It's not just the money, the draft picks, everything like that. It's your coaching, and it starts the carousel.
WoodwardSports.com chat there. Mike G says, Johnson, one more year, another winning record, win the North, make the playoffs, then Ben can have his pick of the head coaching litter. But it doesn't work like that, Terry. Like, you have to analyze what's out there now, because the jobs that are open now won't be open. And here's a news flash, Terry. If you're in the market for a coach, you're not walking into a good situation.
No, never. ever. I mean, it happens now and then, but you got to get the head coaching job, get beat up a little bit, but just like Dan Campbell did not walk into a good situation here, but it's a good situation now.
Can I ask? Let's propose we're all Ben Johnson, right? First year or year and a half or whatever as a coordinator, and here's the dilemma, right? Whether you think you're ready, or what if you think that you want one more year? Because we can all agree we don't want him to leave, right? Perfect world is that, okay, give me one more year here as the OC, and then you could go wherever you want, right? But that's not the question here, because that's not the way that it works. The job's not going to be available. You can't really afford the opportunity to do that. Now, my question is, if you're Ben Johnson, obviously, we talked about this already, you're going to go for, and it's not about the money, it's the highest of the profession, but I see Ben Johnson as a successive, like he's going to succeed with what he does. He seems like that, where it's not like the Josh McDaniels and different things like that. So is this a question that you have with yourself, and would it be a precedence to turn a job down, or is it just, that's not even a question?
That would be stupid.
Yeah.
What you have to do,
right, Terry?
You're hot. When you're hot, you got to strike your
deal. There's no guarantee. You don't know what's going to happen next year.
You may not be hot next year. You think you're going to be, but you may not be. Or there could be a, let's say Bill Cowher says next year, I want to coach again. And Sean Payton says, I want to coach again.
Right.
So all of a sudden, at best, you're third on the list of teams, and there might not be that many opens.
And that goes back to what Mike G was talking about. Like, if that happens, you don't get the pick of the jobs. You get what's left. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because of that scenario you just talked about. And that's true, and I didn't even think about it like that. If Peyton doesn't get hired this year, he's always going to be the one. Eric Bieniemy is always up for every single job every year.
And doesn't get it.
And never gets it.
I think he's waiting for Andy Reid to retire or move up.
You think that's what it is?
I really think that's what it is.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just...
Waiting for Andy?
Waiting for Andy to... I mean, if he retires or he moves into the front office or whatever he's going to do.
And to Terry, your point, that's the only way, is when it's already set up and the guy retires, that you have your successor in place, that it works.
And when you got Patrick Mahomes standing in front of you, it's hard to say I'm going to go somewhere else.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Casey says, what offers more status to Ben Johnson, the Carolina head coaching job or potentially taking the Lions on a Super Bowl run in the next 2 years? The Carolina head coaching job.
Yeah,
especially, like we talk about the North, the Panthers could be set up to run that division too, because Tom Brady's cooked.
He's going somewhere else too.
The Falcons are the Falcons. The Saints are the... You know what I'm saying? Like, that division's for the taking too.
And people, stop. I understand you're Lion fans, but you're not being realistic. Most coaches want to be head coaches. And your opportunity to be a head coach could be like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, it could be 80 years. You don't know. But when teams are coming after you, and I'm talking about multiple teams, you don't turn a job down. Because no matter what you do, you want to be the best. You want to be a CEO. You want to be in charge of something. And like I said, sports, full of competitors. I want to be the best. I want the top job. I don't want to be number two.
And that's what it is, Terry. And that's what it always comes back to. And, it is one of those... It just goes back to that, man. Like, that's what you're bred for. That's why you're doing this job now. Because one day you want to be the guy.
So my question is that if this is going to happen, we would probably hear about it Terry, in the next, by the end of the weekend? Or is this, like, if we don't hear something that has been offered or hired by the end of the weekend, is the longer that we don't hear, the better for us as Lions fans?
It depends on what job he's looking at. Sometimes, the NFL, for instance, they don't want you hiring anybody during Super Bowl week. So maybe teams are putting you against an assistant that's already on a team that's making a Super Bowl run. So it could be a month from now. But if the team is saying, Ben Johnson, you're our dude, we love you, we want you, come join us, and I'm giving you the brother man hug, it could be in the next 2 weeks.
And the bottom line is, if you fail, even if it's an abject disaster, you get $20 million to not work, and you can name your coordinator spot. You can go wherever you want as an offensive coordinator when it's over.
I take him back.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Like that's the way that it goes down. It's just, for me, if I were him, that Houston job's where I'm at, man.
Yeah.
7 of the top 130 picks or whatever it is, $40 million in cap space next year, no quarterback on the books, $900,000 in total dead money next year. Houston's set to roll.
Houston would be good, or wait for Brandon Staley to get fired after the Chargers get bounced by Jacksonville.
That's not going to happen. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
I was told that.
He is. He is. Come on.
Yeah, he is.
Stop it.
Similar to Michigan, these are the stakes now. Like, you're playing for keeps now.
No, I understand.
You better beat the Jaguars if you're one of the best quarterbacks in the league. With all due respect to the Jaguars, it's been a nice turnaround.
Trevor Lawrence is up there too, and Doug Peterson's a hell of a better coach than Brandon Staley.
Oh my God! You don't think coaching matters?
Yeah.
Look at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yes.
Look at them.
That could be a tough one there.
It's at home too.
We're gonna do Spenmo's fast break when we come back. I do want to get into the Harbaugh situation. I do want to do the biggest takeaway from the Lions season as well. We want to do all that. So we'll take a step back. We'll get into the Harbaugh things. I have some questions for Sam Flannel. Hey, your coach does this. We don't do it, and I didn't do it.
It's true.
Can't wait for those questions. I'm on pins and needles.
It's not me, everybody. Mike G, everybody in the chat thread. This isn't me being a hater. Your coach is doing this.
I know.
Not me. So I just want that out there.
Neal's just bringing it to light, in case anybody hasn't heard it.
It's big news.
Oh, that was my stomach, Spen.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I feel my stomach rumbling too, and you know where I might go for lunch? That's Cousins Maine Lobster.
Let's go.
Woodward Sports loves lobster, and what better way to get your fix than Cousins Maine Lobster? With 2 trucks rolling around Detroit, you can be sure to find the best lobster rolls, lobster tots, lobster tacos, and Terry, my favorite, lobster grilled cheese to power through the day. Go to cousinsmainelobster.com to find their schedule, or you can just scan that QR code right there and figure out where they are rolling around the city. Make sure you check out Cousins Maine Lobster.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
It's a new year, and Guardian Alarm has a lot to offer, like customized solutions from real experts. Professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs, whether it is home or business. But I need you to call Guardian Alarm today. 1-800.
Stay out.
They're 24/7 professional monitoring. You can call them anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as it is needed. But I need you to give Guardian a call right now. 1-800.
Stay out.
Did you know that technology is backed by people? Your safety and security deserve technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. Did you know they care so much that they've been protecting Sam Flannel's flannel for how many straight days?
195.
195 straight days of flannel protection. You too, whatever's important to you can be protected, but I need you to call today. The number 1-800.
Stay out. Get out
Stay
of
out
my
of podcast
house.
talking crap, Hunter Dickinson, unless you can get more than 6 rebounds against Central Michigan.
Coaching selection. Stay out of our Lions. Thank you, Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Tell them Big D Energy, we sent you.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network.
Coach, my coach.
Neal Ruhl, Sam Flannel, Terry Foster, Darren McCarty, Spencer Raxter as well. Happy y'all are with us. And take a step back. We're gonna get into the Harbaugh thing coming up in just a little bit. And I just want to qualify it. I'm going to continue to say it. I am not doing this. Your coach is doing this.
That's true.
I will confirm that.
Okay. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. Let's jump on the hardwood. It's been a minute. Let's jump on the hardwood, man. Spend more racks. It's a fast break.
It's a fast break. It's been a while.
Been a minute.
First question of the fast break. What is the biggest position need for the Pistons when you're looking at the draft and free agency next year?
For me, it'll say weird to say this because Bojan does this, but he's not like a long-term answer. It's been a wing for a long time. Mm-hmm. The wing position's been tough for the Pistons. And Bojan's providing it, and he's been way more than I ever thought he would be. It's just, do you say that? Rim protector, that's kind of cliche.
Yeah.
But Terry, they need some guts interior defensively, don't they?
They do, and rim protection is not cliche. They do need that. I mean, you can go into the lane and do whatever you want to do. You can put down a picnic basket. You can entertain the kids. You can hang from the rim, and the Pistons is not going to stop you.
And I knew the new coach stuff was going to start there.
No, I took it differently. Health. They need health.
They need
to be healthy, much like the Red Wings brought to attention. Yet they haven't been healthy all year with the guys they're supposed to be. So until your young core and stay healthy and then get on the floor together to see what you got, do you really know what you have? So I think health's the number one concern. I do agree coaching, but I think that until you know what you have, like health's what's killing them the most.
Rack says it very well. We need Bojan in like 2 to 3 years. Unfortunately, not right now. And that is fair.
Freeze them.
It is. People are pretty passionate though. They roll in. Chuck Brewer says our biggest weakness is wing defense.
Yeah, 3-D guy, like a legitimate 3-D guy.
All right, what do we got?
Next up, Killian Hayes. Speaking of defense, Killian Hayes has been putting together probably his best season as a pro since he's entered the starting lineup. He's been playing very well, shooting the ball from 3 very well in his past stretch of games. Can he be a factor going forward? Can he be a legitimate factor for this Pistons team?
It's just, how's that going to work? He's getting the minutes now because Cade Cunningham's hurt. Mm-hmm. How does he fit with Jaden Ivey? Where does Jaden Ivey fit? Bojan plays, that third guard spot sometimes, as I like to call it. Where does it fit? You have to make a decision too. Killian Hayes, like his contract situation, where's he at? He's still got what, next year?
Yeah.
And then a qualifying offer. You can still get him relatively cheap, I guess. But Terry, it doesn't equate. There's only 48 minutes in a game, man.
That is true, but they do have people that come off the bench. Killian Hayes could lead the bench players. He's not a starter. But the thing that you have to understand about
Does he know that, though?
He knows that.
I think he knows that.
Okay.
Yeah, he definitely knows that. You have to understand with Killian Hayes, he was brought in to be the lead guard for the Detroit Pistons. Then what do? They draft Cade Cunningham. And then they draft Jaden Ivey. I think that played with his head a little bit. You're not good enough. We drafted your position, but we got to do it over and over and over again because you're not that. And I think that played with his head. Now perhaps he's getting through that. This is a guy that didn't want to shoot, and when he shot, he missed. He was shooting like 16-17%, which is unheard of at some point in the season. And now he's a functional player. He's got a little attitude to him.
He's got the swag. He's playing with swag.
He's got swag. This dude had no swag.
No.
Isn't this more of a showcase though? To see what you do have, but have him find, and maybe to what you're saying, if all things are true, then it could be a piece.
Yeah, but D-Mac,
or I mean, as when we talk about guys, you know, the injuries and being healthy or whatever, well, there's the opposite. There's a yin to the yang, right? There's an opposite to that, and it's seeing what Killian Hayes is sort of coming into what we sort of expected. Now, when you drafted Killian Hayes, you didn't know you'd be able to get Cade Cunningham, or even to that point, Jaden Ivey, whatever direction that is. To me,
wait till next draft when they get Scoot.
So this is just a showcase. Better be your mama. Better be your mama, bang. But it's to me, it's more of a showcase, and it's to the value of what you're going to do moving forward, whether you're part of this team or not. Who cares? This is a good blessing to everything bad that's going on with the Pistons.
And Pistons fan 11 says this Killian's like 5 times better than the rookie Killian, and I agree with that 100%.
He's older.
Yeah, and just what his length when he handles a ball, like his length is something you don't see a ton of.
Yes.
Like you and it's obvious.
It is, and I said it from when I first saw him play that he's always had the ability to create space off the dribble. He's always had the great passing ability, but now he's actually being aggressive. He's actually finishing at the rim, and he's knocking down open shots.
But all right, I put it on you.
Yeah.
What do you do then? Now, what about my scenario? I just have it in my gut. They're going to end up with the number 2 pick.
You get the number 2 pick, you trade it.
You trade Killian?
No, you trade the number 2 pick.
Really?
Yes, I would.
Really?
Yes.
You trade my guy Scoot? That's what you're saying?
I would, yeah.
To keep Killian?
I mean, I think Killian. It'd be between Scoot and Ivy, in my opinion. I think Killian's a bench player. He's a guy off the bench, so it'd be between Scoot and Ivy, and I would trade the pick because I think you can get more value out of that.
Really?
Yes.
Like, for the question to you basketball guys is, can it work? A 3-headed guard system?
I don't know.
It always works. Some of the better teams always have at least 3 guards.
See, but the problem is the only one that's capable of playing the 3 is Cade. He's the only one capable of it, and I think you eliminate some of his strength.
Be a starter. Like Killian's the bench guy.
Okay, Spenny.
He's going to come off.
Okay.
And when he did it last year, he did it well. So I'd like to see that.
Okay.
Next question on the fast break: who has been a bigger surprise this season? Both guys. More than likely, I'm going to throw 3 in there.
Okay.
All 3 of them.
It doesn't matter. It's not changing my answer.
More than likely going to be first-time All-Stars this year. We got Sam's boy, Tyrese Halliburton, Lauri Markkanen of the resurgent Jazz, or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is top 5 in scoring average.
Markkanen's impressive because what the Jazz have done, nobody had this.
Yeah, not at all.
Nobody had this with the Jazz. Gilgeous-Alexander, he's averaging 31 points a game.
He's getting buckets, dude. It's crazy.
And like we all knew he was good. He's scoring 31 points a game. 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Terry, this guy's a star. Not a good player, not an all-star. He's a star in the NBA. If you don't know about him, that's your fault.
It is my fault, but he's rough. He's rough. Yeah, I mean, definitely him. And, I mean, if you have a superior skill set, which he does in scoring, then you're
ahead of the game, man.
You're ahead of the game.
You are. In OKC, they have more draft picks than they can even physically make.
And Chet hasn't played a game yet.
So there's all 3 of them, and you're right, because it's a consistency market, but all 3 of them being put in situations, right? And, we're talking about coaching here, different situations to show the ability they have. So you can't, it's the consistency to do it night after night.
And he's 5 at 180. Yeah. First year of a 5 at 180. Yeah. He's a star. Thunder are going to be a problem.
Thunder are going to be a problem. They got
Real
a lot
soon.
of money, a lot of draft picks. They're going to make some moves, and they got the Twin Towers. So I love it. I love SGA. But next question on Fast Break: is Jaden Ivey really the future next to Cade? We've seen him show out. He's been performing well on the defensive side, more than I expected. And we know what his offense, what he can bring to the table. Are him and Cade Cunningham really that backcourt of the future?
When do they do the lottery drawing? That's like Game 5 of the conference finals.
Yes.
So about middle of May-ish. Mm-hmm. Check back with me on May 17th. No, I mean, and I'm being for real on that. Yeah. Terry, hey, Jaden Ivey, I know everybody loves him, and he's growing on me too, man, no doubt. And he's explosive, and he has something you can't teach. But at the same time, things change quickly in the NBA, Terry.
The guys, he's a rookie. He's a rookie. I like what I see out of him. This will probably end up being perhaps the second or third best backcourt in Piston history. So I just look at his physical skills. I look at his age. I look at the fact that, he comes from a basketball family. This is going to work out.
Okay.
My Ivy clock ain't go off till the end of the next season. I mean, he's got to give the kid at the age he is playing in the NBA, adjusting to not just playing against men, but the life. So way too soon to tell, but I agree. His raw gifts and the stuff that he's shown me what he can do is that and Terry says it could be the second or third best backcourt in this team's history. That says something. I'm willing to wait and see.
Scoot Henderson, 21-5 and almost 7 in the G League.
Yeah, no, he's good, man.
At 18.
He's good. He's very good.
I'm just saying.
He's very good.
All right, last one.
With me is, if you're going to replace Ivy, I'd want to replace it with someone with a different skill set than Ivy. I feel like Scoot and Ivy's skill set are very similar, but this one is tough, man. I feel bad for whoever has to do this, but who doesn't make the starting front court in the Eastern Conference All-Star game? Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, or Giannis Antetokounmpo. One of them can't make it. They're all putting up MVP numbers.
Yeah. Kevin Durant?
He's the leading vote getter.
You know what that
He's going to be the captain.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But let's look at it.
Yeah.
Let's sit down and look at it. Embiid, I mean, come on, bro.
Yeah, he's like 31-8 and 4.
Every night, dude.
12 and 4 or something.
And
like
Giannis
is like 30,
come on.
Yeah.
And Tatum
might be the MVP.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's an aggressive question, and I gave you an aggressive answer.
That's fair.
We're not. Again, I always go back to this. We're not conditioned to hear that. No one around here is supposed to say KD, but when you break them down like that, tell me I'm wrong.
You're not. I mean, off numbers, yeah, it should be Durant, but Durant's going to be the captain of the team. He got 2 million votes.
I had to do a double take. I thought it said AD. Right, but then there was no street clothes there, so I knew it wasn't.
Hey, there were no sleeveless vests on anybody.
If you're going to go by the season that these guys have all had, and I know that when it comes to All-Star time, because hockey does it too, you throw in the name or whatever like this, but you can't take Tatum out. You can't take Giannis out, and Embiid with what he's done. So to me, KD's the odd man out in that situation.
Yeah, let's factor in the off-court stuff. KD nearly ruined the New Jersey Nets.
Oh.
My ass.
Kyrie Irving.
No. He played a role too because he had demands.
At the end of the day, that's ownership, isn't it? In bringing that.
No. The star players make demands, and ownership
you're gonna pay the man that
scared.
money.
In the NBA, you have to appease your stars. That's what it's all about. That's why they call him Le GM.
It's almost like you forget that 18-2 stretch happened. Like the Brooklyn Nets being a dumpster fire, that's narrative now. That's not reality.
Yeah.
Spencer's preseason pick of them winning the NBA title, I still don't think it'll happen, but it's not insane.
It's not insane.
Because Kevin Durant is one of the best players to ever play in the NBA, and he's playing some of the best basketball
They're
in his
the hottest.
career.
They're the hottest team in
And
basketball.
I get that, but those 4 dudes, it ain't Durant.
They should all start. There should be no.
You know, everybody has a Scott Frost, I guess, bud.
I mean,
we all know everybody's got their Scott Frost pick.
And everybody's got a Big Boy by him as well. In wintertime in Detroit, it's always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Try the classic meatloaf. Spenny would smash.
Meatloaf.
Cajun chicken Alfredo. What about breakfast? Stuffed potato pancakes. They're back as well. The Lumberjack, the Santa Fe Garden, or the Blockbuster. Stop by your local Big Boy today.
Love Woodward's sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Neal Ruhl here for Chili Peppers Tanning, the cleanest salons in the D, spotless sanitized rooms, and trained and certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club. You'll get all the best deals. They beat competitors' prices by at least $5. You can pick up the Australian Gold Designer Skin Cal Tan, and of course, Spencer Raxter's personal favorite, the Swedish Beauty Lotions.
Oh, yeah.
ChiliPeppersTanning.com. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. They are your vitamin D headquarters. 27 locations. More on the way. It's Chili Peppers Tanning, y'all.
Chili Peppers Tan.
Yay. Back at it. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. And I do want to get into this topic real quick, though. You know, we have the televisions on and stuff. We're always trying to stay current with what's going on. Terry, where are we with the sport coat and hooded sweatshirt look?
Not a fan.
Nor am I.
I will never do it.
You feeling that?
I don't like it on Orlovsky, but I like it on Whitworth.
I'd make it look better than Orlovsky, though.
I think you got to be a big guy to rock that.
You think so?
Yeah. I like it on Whitworth. I think it looks good. But Orlovsky, no.
Okay. Just wanted to see where we were at. With it. Speaking of trying to see where we're at with it, our next topic, Jim Harbaugh. All right. Let's lay down the ground rules here. Let me go around the room. Terry Foster, can you confirm? I am not hating on anybody or hating on anything that Jim Harbaugh is doing this, not Neal Ruhl.
That is absolutely correct.
Factual.
Okay. So I can speak with impunity.
You may.
You give me permission. Darren
Not
McCarty.
only do I give you permission, but if you don't do it, I'm going to smack you.
Okay. Darren McCarty, the Minister of Accountability.
Smack Santa. I like it.
The Minister of Accountability. Do I have your permission?
100%. I would just, from friend to friend, just be aware of your tone. Be aware. Just be aware of your tone.
Comment?
Just because I know how it comes off, but there's sensitive people in the booth right there. There's sensitive people that you talk to out there. I'm pointing at Sam Flannel. Okay? But yes, okay. Neal, you better give it. I will even back that. If you do not, I will stand beside Terry as he smacks you.
Okay.
Bam.
So there we are. There you have it. This is not me. This is your coach doing this. This isn't me, Sam Flannel. When news breaks, we break in. Harbaugh Watch continues. Another. What are we at? Day 4, day 5 of Harbaugh Watch, whatever it is.
Something like that.
Today is Thursday. Where are we at with Harbaugh Watch, Sam Flannel?
First off, I am worried that he is going to leave at this point.
So it's growing.
Oh, of course it's growing. But the thing that is kind of a deeper issue than that, and it's something I've kind of done a little bit of a deep dive on, the impact that it could possibly have with just him flirting with NFL teams, not coming to Michigan for the second off season in a row, the impacts that it can have on their recruiting, I am absolutely worried about. Because right now, according to 24/7 Sports, Michigan has the 17th ranked recruiting class in 2023 with no 5 stars.
Which is about where they've been as of late.
Well, but they're coming off of 2 consecutive Big Ten championships. This is their kind of time to strike and get those higher ranked recruiting classes, get those 5 stars to where they can maybe compete in the future. But right now, I'm worried with just all of this flirtation, whether Michigan loses Harbaugh or not. that Michigan won't be able to stay at the top of the Big Ten. Their recruiting class right now is ranked worse than South Carolina's. It's one ahead of Auburn, which is a complete and utter dumpster fire right now, coming off of the Brian Harsin era. So to me, I want this to kind of be nipped in the bud and done with, regardless of if Harbaugh stays or not. I'm at that point now. I'm over it.
Is he breaking Michigan fans' will, Terry?
You have to understand there's two sets of Michigan fans. There's the slappies who believe in blue no matter what. But there's got to be some, there are some that are like, man, we're sick of this stuff. Because he said this is not going to happen again.
That's true.
But it's
his words.
It's his words, but it's going to happen every year. Because he's one of those hybrid coaches where the NFL likes him, the college ranks likes him, Michigan likes him. So this is just a deal that's going to happen unless he says no. You never hear him say, nah, I don't want to talk to anybody. He's got his eye toward the NFL. He'll probably go there at some point. And a lot of the rumors that we hear about Harbaugh are started by Harbaugh's people.
Which I get and I appreciate, right? It's a business.
It is a business, which means you want to be in the mix.
Drives your price up.
You're interested in driving up your salary, driving up the interest, and you've got your eye on the NFL.
Use the Ndamukong Suh, Penei Sewell analogy we used at the beginning of the show of toughness. Jim Harbaugh is Ndamukong Suh, looking out for himself.
No, he's a Michigan man.
Looking out for himself for different ways to move, whatever it is, where you need the Penei Sewell in charge. There's a couple things right here of the why. You wonder why we sit here and go, if you can't, you want to know why you can't recruit with Georgia or Alabama or whatever, is because you don't have fertile soil to recruit. Ooh. Because what are you going to go in and tell the kid, oh yeah, you're going to be here, play for me and all this, and it's a constant turnstile to what you guys say. The biggest question to me isn't if Jim Harbaugh leaves or whatever, it's more or less expecting that, is this the time, is this the time, is this the time? But where does Michigan go? That's the biggest elephant in the room, is who's next that could possibly do that. Because for this Michigan program, if we're talking about the betterment of this team, they need a Penei Sewell leading the way. In fact, it's somebody that's going to be there. Now, we know from Michigan's history, it's got to be a Michigan man from their point of view. But in the bigger scheme of things, when you don't know until it's probably not a Michigan man that can bring national attention, you won't swim in those waters. So why are we just here the same conversation every year? So the why explains it. But to me, Jim Harbaugh, when it comes, and I get it, because we've never questioned him as a coach. Question about recruiting, question about different things, question about his commitment. And I think after 7 years that he's been here and stuff, his foot's halfway out the door because of his frustrations and everything.
I think he got questioned after the TCU game, because after Michigan fans stopped blaming the refs, they would say, well, Harbaugh made huge mistakes in that game.
WoodwardSports.com chat poll. Right here, right now, Michigan fans. I want the temperature of the room because it seems mixed. And I see some names in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread that were indignant about it last week that have changed their tune. So right here, right now, will Jim Harbaugh be the coach at Michigan for their 7-game exhibition season?
Hey, Neal, is this like, and Jake Wagner brings Jake Wagner brings up a great point, right? As a fan, he said he'd rather have to deal with the NFL talk every offseason than go back in the Rich Rod Hoke era. That's, one of the things is that because of what's the alternative? What's the alternative? To me, that tells me that, okay, whatever you want, Uncle Jim, whatever you want, it doesn't matter how this program, because we're happy being the Fago.
Regional brand, yeah.
He's also one of the few coaches in football history who is uniquely great at both. He was a great NFL coach. He got the San Francisco 49ers to the Super Bowl.
No question.
Lost. And then, of course, great at Stanford, reestablished Michigan as
was great at San Diego.
Was great at San Diego.
In college.
Absolutely, and was great getting Michigan back to at least winning the Big Ten, beating Ohio State for 2 years in a row. They run the Big Ten now, so he's been great at both levels. And if it were other coaches, I wouldn't be that worried. But Jim Harbaugh, he wants to win a Super Bowl too. I think he wants to win a national championship and a Super Bowl. I think he loves both. But it just kind of depends on what offer he gets. It's tough right now because I want him to stay, but I also don't want this dance to keep going on and on and on to where it just like affects recruiting, to where Michigan can't stay at the level where they're at. That's where I'm at. Where before I was kind of like, he's definitely going to stay. Now I'm worried.
Sammy, it's going to happen every year. The question for you is, are you willing to tolerate that? Can you handle that?
It's funny because when it happened last year, the way that he responded this season, getting them to 13-0, although they lost in the College Football Playoff, that was still a great year. Wait a minute, I thought it was a failure. It was a national failure, a great Big Ten season. If he brings me wins, if he brings Michigan wins, I'm good no matter what he does.
What?
You're ruthless.
What? Why? How am I ruthless?
You're just ruthless.
All I'm doing is going by what people say.
Let the kid go.
It's all right.
You're like me. You got to hammer him down, accountability every time. Just let him go.
Actually, Neal has been nicer than I thought he was going to be.
We're not done. We're going to take a break.
Okay.
Sam's going to tell us not about a ham and Swiss sandwich. He's going to talk to us about Swiss insurance, and then we're going to return.
Of course, Swiss Insurance. Be sure to check with Swiss Insurance this week for your commercial insurance review. Many businesses choose a January 1st effective date. Swiss can help make sure you have the proper coverage. Swiss Insurance. Give us a shot and you won't be disappointed. You can contact them at mark@swissins.com. Again, that is mark@swissins.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl and Terry Foster and Darren McCarty and Sam Flannel and Spencer Raxter and all of it. We're talking Jim Harbaugh right now. It's not me bringing this up. It's his Harbaugh watch. It's become a full-on news story. CNN and Fox News are in the streets in Ann Arbor. Just waiting. I'm kidding. They're not. But, whatever. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Mike G, hate, go back to 26 Mile, Neal. I would never hang on a 26 Mile.
That's slumming from the 32.
Yeah, there's like a Meijer and a Kroger on 26 Mile. I live at 29 Mile.
Whole Foods and Trader Joe's.
Lording over the people.
I live over by the golf course. I don't mess around with traffic lights.
Well, wait a minute. I think you do go to 25 Mile because isn't there a real hoity-toity grocery store over there in Van Dyke?
There is.
I'm sure you go there and slum sometimes.
I go get my food with the commoners. Yeah.
Right. Now he gets that one slice of cheesecake for $50.
Yeah, he has his butler go get his food with the commoners.
Yeah. Your mom's favorite skater. I think Neal has a crush on Jim Harbaugh. He can't stop talking about him. Yeah, because this is me making this happen. And I knew somebody was going to be doing that. I knew somebody was going to say that. And this is me hating. And this is me making this happen. Yeah. And this is me carrying this. It's not your coach. It's not your Michigan man doing it. It's not your those who stay will be champions and khaki pants and the glasses and the hat. It's not that. It's me. It's me creating all this.
Neal's actually the one who leaked to the press that he's talking with NFL teams.
Absolutely. I created the story that he wants the Broncos job. I did that. Or his people did that. So leave me alone about it.
Or let's answer this question. The NFL really doesn't want Jim Harbaugh. So why does Jim Harbaugh to the NFL stories happen every time this year? Think about that, folks. Why is this happening? One entity doesn't really want you, but these stories keep coming up. It's because your coach is creating the narrative. Your coach wants to be included on all the searches and everything. Your coach wants to be part of the game. And I will defend him. This is not Neal creating it.
Michigan man Jason says, if I'm Ward, I offer Jim 10 years, $100 million with a $50 million buyout. If he turns that down, it's an ultimatum. He's stepping down, and it's time to find a replacement. Why would he take that? You guys got to balance this, right? You got to balance it with the market. Jim holds the chips here. That's why this is a unique situation, Sam Flannel. Ward Manuel and Michigan and the Michigan fan, you're not dictating anything to Jim Harbaugh because Jim Harbaugh is your guy.
No, that is true. I was actually watching another sort of Michigan football sort of podcast thing, and one of the suggestions that was made on that was 10 years, $150 with a $50 million buyout. I mean, I don't hate the idea of just giving him that, and then it's up to Jim Harbaugh. If he doesn't sign it by the end of, say, this week, which is the dead period.
You can't do that to your guy.
Why not?
You can't. Because you're not Jim Harbaugh's dictating to you. You're not dictating to Jim Harbaugh.
Right, so if he says, okay, yeah, we'll do that, and then it comes to it, and he goes, Jim, you signing? No. Well, you said you would. Okay, so now what?
Well, but then at that point, you just got to move on, because I don't like this idea of all this uncertainty right now, especially coming off of 2 Big Ten championships, college football playoff appearances. If Michigan wants to stay there, they have to sort of take advantage of this time period where they could have better recruits, maybe get a couple 5-stars, because if they don't, I don't want to go back to being like 10-3, 9-4. I don't want that at all.
He's your only hope. So you're going to sit there and you're going to take this. You are. You're going to sit there and you're going to take it. And he's going to flirt with the NFL and do all this stuff. And then when he's not wanted, he's going to come back to Michigan. He wants to be in the NFL. Maybe they don't want him. But you all are going to sit there and you're going to take it because he's in charge. Not you, not Ward Manuel, not the Michigan brand. This is the one thing that the Michigan brand can't control. Jim Harbaugh's bigger than the Michigan brand. He decides, not you, not Ward Manuel.
I mean, I get that. Oh, stop it. Stop. No,
What a funny noise.
Do you really think that Michigan, and I know Jim Harbaugh's not gone yet, do you really think there's coaches out there that aren't going to want to coach J.J. McCarthy, Donovan Edwards, Blake Corum, Will John? Like, you know what I mean? I do think they could get
That's
somebody.
fine, Sam. That's next year. But is it the coach? Because what are we talking about? About getting to the national, not being Big Ten great, right? Can you get a coach in here that can recruit? Right, so the question to answer is that Neal's telling you that you're not getting a 5-star, like Jim Harbaugh's going to hold in the fact that you're wanting 5-star recruits. Well, the only chance you have is if Harbaugh's coaching, unless you bring somebody in that can bring that. Isn't that the conversation we've had all week or all 2 weeks or whatever, is you can't recruit to the level of what Georgia and Alabama does? Well, this certainly, when your coach doesn't want to be here, he's got 1 foot in and 1 foot out every offseason, when you're exactly right as far as, isn't this a year after back-to-back Big Ten championships, making it to college playoff, where you hammer down?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, that obviously not, because your coach doesn't care. My question to Spenny, and as disarray as Michigan State is, with Mel Tucker and what, you're sitting there going, at least we got work to do and we know what we have to do with our guy. Yeah, it's ugly right now and stuff like this, but there's no question in your organization, is there?
No.
Right.
I mean, there's something to it.
Just had a 5-star visit. 5-star defensive lineman. He said, I'm coming at Mel Tucker.
And to Neal's
question
point,
for Michigan man Sam.
Oh, boy. Yes.
You talked about paying Harbaugh $15 million a year. What if Michigan is a team that wins the Big Ten every third year. This is how I think it's going to settle down. They'll win the Big Ten every 3 to 4 years. They'll beat Ohio State maybe every other year. And they'll go to the national playoffs every other year, lose in the first round, rinse and repeat. Is that good enough for your $15 million?
No, because that's kind of what Michigan has sort of historically been at their apex.
And I think that's why they won't offer that. I think that, because how are you going to pay him more than Nick Saban but not get Nick Saban results? How do you justify that?
I mean, and that's fair. I'm definitely... Part of it with the whole Jim Harbaugh thing is sort of the fear of the unknown, because I know the heights that Jim Harbaugh has taken Michigan to, they're back to where they've always sort of been at their apex, besides for 1997, of course. I just don't want a disaster moving forward, like a hire that just completely doesn't work out, like a Rich Rod, like a Brady Hoke. That's what I'm trying to avoid. But that whole, winning the Big Ten every 3-4 years, beating Ohio State maybe half the time, that's not... I want Michigan to be a national powerhouse, and that's not good enough, especially if they go to the college football playoff and lose in the first round every year. That's too much like what Michigan has always been. I want more. I just don't know if they're capable of more.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Steve-O says, so Jim's going to threaten to go to the NFL and renegotiate his contract every time he wins a Big Ten. That's actually some BS. I say let him walk. And you guys can talk tough because he's still here. In your heart, Steve-O, you know the truth.
And here's the thing, because I hear it all along. Do you not think that your fearless leader, Jim Harbaugh's first thing is going to go, oh, look at the guy down the road. He makes $10 million.
If I was a Michigan fan, I'd want Harbaugh out, and I'd want Urban Meyer to get as much money as he wants.
Somebody asked on the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, they asked, what's Nick Saban making? Nick Saban next year, I think, will be like 10.4. And then there's incremental raises. In 2029, he'll be making $12.4 million in 2029. But that doesn't count when the boosters say he ain't going anywhere, and then in 2 months later, a check shows up at his mortgage office and his house is paid off, because that's what they did. So it hits different down there, everybody.
On the surface, it does kind of sound ridiculous to make Jim Harbaugh higher paid than Nick Saban when he hasn't produced those kind of results, and that's why.
Sounds ridiculous to make him higher paid than Sonny Dykes.
Oh, come on. one season.
Get your shots in, Betty. Get him in. And Alicia says that this is, he's doing this to creating a narrative to get more money from Michigan. But Alicia, how long are you going to continue to beat the dead horse? It's pretty apparent to me, right?
It's like franchise tag every year.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We're past that now. That's done. That's been created now. If you want him, honest to God, here's what I think. I think he wants to go to the NFL, and I think they don't want him. I honestly think, because what other explanation is there? If he's not holding him up for money, because they would have gave him the contract already.
I mean, Jim Harbaugh, he's 60 right now. That's the thing. I think there's something to be said about the NFL maybe just doesn't want him. I mean, you see where the NFL is going, the young, innovative offensive coach. And Jim Harbaugh is certainly not that. He's certainly not young. He kind of has a personality that can kind of wear on you. I mean, for all the great... Absolutely, but even more so than that. For all of the success he had in San Francisco, he was there for 4 years. He doesn't stay places long. His personality is kind of grating. He's kind of weird. He doesn't. I can't imagine he interviews very well. So,
God, could you imagine that?
Yeah, that would be so awkward.
Especially that Zoom interview with Denver. I can only just imagine Jim Harbaugh with that sort of blank look. That sort of, you remember that helmet cam?
Yeah.
Could you imagine that across a desk from you?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that'd be weird. Oh, real quick, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Go Blue says, I agree with Neal. He wants an NFL job. Hurting your recruiting for a paycheck doesn't seem wise, and that's where I'm at with it.
He doesn't need the money.
Yeah, I don't think it's
especially after what just happened. You know what I'm saying?
I don't get it, man.
I think it's more acceptable even if you.
God, is he weird? Planet Fitness, the official studio sponsor of Woodward Sports and home of the judgment-free zone. You can work out for just $10 a month. You can upgrade to the Black Card, get unlimited guest privileges, the hydro massage, and more. I was just there this morning, getting a run in. Awesome. Planet Fitness over here on Maple Road in Troy. It's goated on the sticks, as my son would say. Join today in club. You'll pass a couple on the way home. Pull in, join there. Go to planetfitness.com on your computer right now and join, because it's Planet Fitness. Darren McCarty.
Curls Day. Where your fitness is essential.
How does that work, your triceps?
Yeah.
at work, and at home. We're there with smarter security solutions, featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. Baby, talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Final segment of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. Tap in, woodwardsports.com chat thread. Follow Woodward Sports on all the social media outlets. You guys know what it is. Just wrapping up this Harbaugh discussion before we cut out here on a Thursday. What about this? Let me run this one by you. Oh, real quick, woodwardsports.com chat thread. Terry, I have a question for you after this. Rax says, you think Harbaugh's in his job like he is in his job interviews, like when he's asked a question and brings a player in and slips out of the office like he does in the postgame press conference?
No,
talk to this guy.
No, because he hasn't been hired.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is right there. Terry, question for you.
Yes, sir.
You might know a little more than this than me. Maybe, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Do you think that because Michigan is such the corporation that maybe they're not in the business of making Jim the highest paid college football coach? Do you think that?
Yeah, because you have that mentality of this is Michigan.
The brand is bigger than him.
Yes, it's the team. But
do you think there's any possibility of that?
Of him making him the highest paid?
No. Do you think that maybe that's what the holdup is? Like, because Michigan is such a corporation that they're not in the business of making him the highest paid coach in college football.
No, and I also think the Michigan believes if you're coaching or working for Michigan, you're better off than if you're somewhere else. So you're paying the quote-unquote Michigan tax. That be happy that you're working here. Be happy that you're the coach. We're going to pay you, but you're not going to get Nick Saban or other top coach money.
Mike G says Michigan Regents could be the holdup. Yes, then that is why. If you guys want to know my problem, that is why. Do you think Alabama's Board of Regents are in the way of something Nick Saban wants to do in football, or the Georgia Board of Regents are in the way if Kirby Smart wants to do something or get something done?
No, because
no
a few years ago there was this big fight at Michigan. The athletic department was running itself. It was making decisions. The president's office, the Board of Regents, the academia said, no, we're in charge. And so that's where Michigan is now.
Is that when basketball players are wrapping the 80s car around a tree?
Even before that.
Oh, okay.
Neal, I got to read this from Chuck Brewer.
No, you don't have to. You want to. Go
I
ahead.
really want to read this.
I hear your tone.
And I'm going to, and here's my tone, because I think he sums it up. And I just thought, as your friend, I should let you know. All I have to say about Neal in Michigan, my wife knows nothing about sports and doesn't follow it at all, but she just asked me, why does that Neal guy hate Michigan so much?
A, I don't believe you, Chuck. And B, I checked and balanced it with Darren and Terry. The room gave me permission. I was allowed to speak with impunity. Chuck, I didn't create this. Jim Harbaugh created this.
It's his wife that doesn't believe you. The hate.
Jim
Harbaugh created it.
Jim Harbaugh created this. Not Neal Ruhl, not Woodward Sports, not the big bad media. Your coach did this.
I'm proud of you because you're bringing Jim Harbaugh accountability to the test.
And what was the guy's name?
Chuck Brewer.
Chuck, shame on you for lying on your wife. Because you know she didn't say that.
Thank you. I'm with that. Have we done all the damage we can do here today? Have we done all the damage we can do?
I think so.
Mike G says the Alabama Regents work for Nick. Exactly.
Absolutely. They just installed his 5th furnace on the house that they bought him.
And that is why you are not capable of winning a national championship. Because that goes on at Georgia. That goes on at LSU to some degree. Goes on to a lot of those places, man. Sorry, Sam Flannel. You can't win a national title there. You can't.
I mean, hey, if Michigan... You know, I'm not even going to play this game, but, like, if they get, like, sort of a good draw moving forward, they could get one. I think they could.
Better draw than this year?
They got a good draw, and it falls away. And
like if they could get like TCU in the first round of the playoff or something like that, maybe Tulane.
Well, that's why. But you know what? When they expand to 10 or 12 teams in the playoffs, Michigan could actually win a playoff game.
That's actually true.
Grant EMU says Michigan 2023 national title with an exclamation point. That sounds like an That sounds like an Eastern Michigan fan. Yeah. Michigan football. I go to Eastern.
JJ Corum and Edwards, best backfield in the country.
All right, that's enough. For Terry Foster, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, my name is Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Beat Toronto. Well, see you later.
Nope.